Welcome to the Piston Fanatic. I'm your host, Dave Dalton, and I'm excited to share my passion and perspective of our Detroit Pistons as we go on this fantastic voyage together. I've been a diehard Piston fan since the days of Dave Bing and Bob Lanier. I've also been the varsity basketball coach of a very successful program in northern Michigan. I want to thank all of you for listening. Please subscribe and like. Oh my goodness. 2 games in a row, we lose on a shot at the buzzer. Tough shots. So tonight, Cade Cunningham makes 6 free throws in a row. The last 2 with 5 seconds left. He draws we have the ball out of bounds on the sideline. He shoots a 3 and gets fouled. Makes the 3 free throws, ties the game. They have no timeouts left. They take it out on the baseline. They have to go the length of the court. Garland dribbles through like 3 of our guys, gets just over half court, and lets it fly, and nothing but net. And he had 18 in the fourth quarter. Cade had 21 in the fourth quarter, but it was not meant to be. Our Pistons lose another heartbreaker. But I tell you, we were behind most of this game. But our guys, they never quit. They never quit. And how many close games have we lost? We've won a lot of close games too, but we've lost so many close games, and it just is gut wrenching. And they tried so hard. We had so many things go wrong, and Tobias got hurt and he was out for a long time. Cade couldn't get up off the floor. Cade came down on Mobley's foot once trying to block a shot and completely twisted his ankle, and he kept on playing. And like I said, he made those 6 free throws at the end of the game. But it was just not meant to be. So but anyway, we're going to talk more about that game. We're going to also talk about there's another trade. I had a podcast earlier today about the Pistons trading for KJ Martin from the 76ers. We got 2 second rounders in that deal. We don't know what's going to happen with these players. Are we going to release KJ Martin? Are we going to keep KJ Martin? And I talked about him in that other podcast. But today we're part of the Jimmy Butler trade. And I listen to all these podcasts, all these NBA podcasts, and I'm so sick of hearing about Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler only will go to Phoenix, and Jimmy Butler doesn't want to go here, and Jimmy Butler doesn't want to go there. And he can't go to Phoenix because they have to be able to trade Bradley Beal, and Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause. So anyway, I'm sure if you listen to NBA podcasts, you've heard it, and it's just been that same story over and over again on every podcast for weeks. But that's over. So the Warriors got Jimmy Butler. They traded Wiggins, who I thought about if there might be some way with one of these. This was a 4-way deal trade, and it was going to be a 5-way trade, but then Toronto somehow dropped out. So a lot of these deals are complicated. So we don't know what's finally going to happen, but it's pretty much a done deal that Butler's going to Golden State and Wiggins is going to Miami. Also, Golden State for him, they traded Shooter, but Shooter's going to go to Utah, and they thought that Kyle Anderson. They also traded Kyle Anderson to get the money to pay for Jimmy Butler, but something went wrong, and so he's not going to be able to go to Utah. But the Pistons, we get a couple players. Josh Richardson, who's 31. He was a great player. There was a time a few years ago I would have loved to have Josh Richardson. Maybe 5 years ago or 3 years ago, I don't know. But he was a good player, played with lots of energy, could play defense, could shoot at some. But he's only played 8 games all year, and he hasn't played in quite a long time. So I would guess that we're going to release him. But again, I don't know. Nobody's reported anything other than that for sure. But we get Lindy Waters, and he's 27. He's played for the Warriors. They played him, at crunch time. He's averaged 17 minutes games. He's 6'6", 5.5 points a game and 2 rebounds, and shoots 38% from the floor only and 33% on threes. So I'm not sure. Again, my problem is, why would we want that guy when we can't play Holland and Asara enough? So, but we got to take on guys. But all we got for taking on those 2 players was 1 second-round draft pick from the Warriors. And so I don't know if it's actually the Warriors pick or these second-round picks. Sometimes they get traded like 10 times a second-round pick. But the trade deadline is tomorrow at 3, so more things could still happen. So, but we're not going to get Alonzo. I talked on that last podcast and some other podcasts. I really would have liked us to get Lonzo Ball, but evidently a lot of other teams wanted him. But the Bulls, who are overloaded with guards, they just signed him to a 2-year extension for like $20 million. So we're not going to be able to get him. But back to the game against the Cavs. It was we were behind a lot of the game. We were down by at least 8 late in the game, but our guys, like I said, they never quit. And like with Tobias hurt, Beasley got hurt at one point, and he had to be helped up. And like I said, Cade sprained his ankle. Duran was in foul trouble. Cade was in foul trouble. Cade got 3 fouls in the second quarter, and they played him a lot when he picked up his 3rd foul. Um, and so, we were playing behind the 8 ball the whole night, but it was, just not meant to be. But it still shows how, Trae Young hit that 3 just the game before. That was a really tough shot over Beasley, falling way backwards. And again, Garland was just over half court and nothing but net. And Garland had like 10 in the first quarter, and then he didn't score until the fourth quarter, but he had 18 in the fourth quarter. Mobley had 20 in the first half, and then he ended up finished with 30. But yeah, it was very hard to swallow when that shot went in the net. I just couldn't believe. I was sure he's going to miss it. And there's always the second guess. Do you foul? If you foul him and put him on the line, then they can only make 2 free throws. And so, unless they have to make the first one and miss the second one and get the rebound and put it in order to tie it. So I don't know why teams don't trust. I think they're afraid like what Cade happened. So they, obviously they didn't want to foul Cade. There was not that much time left on a 3. Cade shot a desperation 3, and Mobley fouled him. So, oh man, it's just hard to take though. Like I said, especially 2 games in a row. But the final score was 118 to 115. There was some shenanigans. There's a little bit of chippiness going on. Everybody in our division, we have fights with the Pacers. We got bad blood with the Cavs. We got bad blood and with the Magic. They're not in our division, but still we have bad blood. But anyway, it's Jared Allen got ejected because he leveled Asar. He just like Stu did the other night and got ejected. So Paul Reed was amazing tonight. He was crazy, so crazy that he was what he did in just his little minutes. But Cade, here's the thing. Cade is unbelievable. His determination and his guts and what he's done. He has bad games, especially first halves, all the time. He was 3 for 11 in the first half. He ended up finishing 11 for 29, and he was 3 for 10 on threes, but 13 for 13 on free throws. So I will tell you this: he doesn't get calls. They called a foul once, and they reviewed it. The Cavs challenged it, and they reversed it. So all these times for his whole career, he's driven to the basket and not got a call and got hammered. And then tonight they give him a call and they reverse it. He did get fouled on it though. That's the hard thing. Another ball goes out of bounds, and the refs cause Piston ball, and then the other ref comes and runs up and said, "Oh no, it's Cavs ball." And it just seems like everything like goes against us. But our team is, Cade is shooting only 25% on threes over the last 10 games. Our team has shot. We lost the game really at the 3-point line. We shot 32%. They shot 42%. And so that was a big factor. We couldn't make our threes. Our guy Beasley was 0 for 5 on threes. Hardaway was hot on threes. Hardaway was 6 for 11 on threes. So, he kept us in the game. He had 20 points. So he had a big game for us. So that, it was just tough when Beasley shoots that bad, because he's usually our most consistent one. And, like I said, Cade's got to have better first halves. Cade can't just start out bad all the time. And like I said, he's shot only 25% on threes for the last 10 games, and he had been shooting like 38%. So that's tough to handle. So play the Sixers Friday. Joel Embiid's back. I think he had like a 40-point triple-double in his last game. So that's going to be a challenge. And they got Maxey, who's can fly up and down the court. He's been incredible lately. He's had a lot of 40-point games lately. So, yeah, we're going to I'm going to come back on unless the Pistons don't make a trade. I'm not going to come back on. But if the Pistons make another trade, I will come back on after that trade is made and do another podcast tomorrow. But I appreciate you listening. And like I said, I made a podcast earlier today about the KJ Martin trade. So, yeah, Sar was really good tonight, and he played 27 minutes. He was only 4 for 10. he missed he missed a layup. He missed a layup twice, and there's another time he was wide open for a breakaway, and we lobbed it down the court to him, but we lobbed it so high that they stole it because he was going to get a wide open dunk, and so that things like that hurt him. But he was only 4 for 7 from the free throw line, and so that was not good. But he did his other stuff, 8 rebounds, 4 offensive, 3 assists, 3 steals, and only 1 turnover, and 12 points. So again, I just say play the crap out of that kid. Play him 30 minutes every night if he's allowed to. I think he said he was cleared to play 30 minutes, but 27 minutes is, he played 30 minutes one game, but Tobias only played 25 minutes because he got hurt. Tobias averages, over 32 minutes a game, so he might have made a difference. He might not have. He was 3 for 9, 0 for 2 on threes. He's shooting for the season like 32% on threes. It doesn't seem like he's even made that many. So he had 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Duren, like I said, only played 22 minutes because he got in foul trouble. 3 for 6, 8 rebounds, and only 22 minutes and 6 points. Hardaway, though, 34 minutes, 6 for 12 from the field, but 6 for 11 on threes. And he was 2 for 2 from the line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 20 points. Great game. Cade, 37 minutes, 11 for 29. So one thing you want to look at, how many points does a guy score per shot they take, and not just at their shooting percentage. So Cade was 11 for 29, which is well under 50%, and he was 3 for 10 on threes. But he scored 38 points on only 29 shots. So that's production. That's winning basketball if you can do that. So Stu played only 18 minutes. I'm not sure. Stu always only plays about 18 minutes. And tonight, it's so hard. It's so hard with our center position because Duren's played awesome for the last month. Tonight was his low game. I know I saw a thing where Cade and Duren have like 3.3 dunks a game. Duren is 3rd in the NBA in dunks for the season, but like I said, he got in foul trouble, so that kind of took him out of the game. He's got to be a little bit smarter, but it's hard when you're dealing with 2 all-star post players that are both bigger than you, and Allen and Mobley. So, and then we all want B-ball Paul Reed to play, and his first half was incredible. I didn't write down the stats, but he ended up with 8 minutes, 3 for 6, 1 for 1 on threes, 6 rebounds, 4 offensive, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. He just does stuff all the time. I just really can't hardly see how we can't play him. I just don't know what like I said, who do you take minutes from, or do you have to play him with Duren or Stu in order to get him a few minutes? And I think there's some matchups you could do that. If there's sometimes, and even if it's for 3 to 5 minutes, that you play him with Duren or Stu, and he's 1 for 1 on threes tonight. Greg Kelser always says that's surprising. He watches him in practice make threes all the time. So Beasley, 24 minutes, but this is a killer. I mean, he wants to make shots. He was 1 for 7. They defended him a little bit tougher. He takes always tough shots. He was 0 for 5 on 3. So 1 assist and 1 steal and 2 points. So that's disappointing. Holland got to play more minutes, I think, partway, because Tobias was out, hurt, injured. So who knows what's going to happen if he's going to be able to play against the Sixers. But he had 19 minutes, 3 for 7, 1 for 5 on threes. He is not afraid to shoot them, man. I think his percentage is probably okay. It's probably over 30, and we would be happy if he can do that his rookie year. 1 assist, wait, that's not right. He was 2 for 2 from the line, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, but he had 2 turnovers, 9 points. Fontecchio only 11 minutes, 1 for 4. Sasser, 11 minutes, 0 for 1. But the killer thing that he can't come in there, Sasser, it's really hard. It's really hard for a player. I always felt for my players, when you're coming off the bench and you don't get to play very much. And if you go in there and you make a couple turnovers right away, you're on the bench and you're done. And if you're one of the better players, Cade could go 3 for 11 and have 5 turnovers in the first half, and he's still going to get to play. And it should be that way, but it just is really hard to be a player that comes off the bench when, but Sasser had 3 turnovers, and he did this, I think, the last game too, where he had too many turnovers for the number of minutes that he played. So, Cade, if Cade's playing 37 minutes tonight, Cade had 1 turnover tonight in 38. He had 38 points, but I didn't even say he was 13 for 13 from the line, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 steals, and 1 turnover and 38 points. So big time game for Cade Cunningham. Like I said, Paul Reed had a good game, but we shot, like I said, we only shot 39%. We shot terribly, and part of it is the Cavs are really good on defense. And I was hoping the Cavs would be a little bit down because they lost that tough game, and that was a battle against the Celtics last night. I watched it, but they had 23 turnovers and we had 11. So that we've been winning the turnover battle. So that's the only way we stayed in the game when we shot so bad. Reboundings were close, but Mobley had, like I said, 30, and Garland had 25. So we'll see what happens with the trade deadline. I was hoping, and we were all hoping, I think, maybe that we would get a guard that could handle the ball, but I'll be fine. I'm just surprised. I was hoping that we would get more picks. Like I said, the KJ Martin picks were not anything great. I mean, of course, you can't tell when it's one of the picks is not until 2031, and so the Mavericks could, not be very good. Anthony Davis is going to be probably out of the league by then. So, but thank you for listening. Hope to talk to you tomorrow. I hope there's some big exciting move. It's always fun to make trades, and especially if like you said, we were all hoping to get one guy that could handle the ball, and when Cade's off the court, that he could create shots for other people, and maybe create some shots for Cade when Cade was on the floor. So, but our Pistons will keep on fighting. They're battlers, like you said, every game, and they get behind all the time, and they got behind again tonight, but they just kept on fighting. But thank you so much for listening. Be the reason that somebody feels seen and cared for, and go Pistons.